Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Johnny Robles, who will fight on Cage Warriors 182. Hello, Johnny. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing yourself?
I'm good. And Johnny, we are a few days away from your fight. You will fight
Sir?
against kind of veteran of the organization because he fought a few times there. And what do you think about him as the opponent? And what would be a perfect scenario for this fight?
Well, obviously, I'm looking to get in there and get that finish. As far as him as an opponent, I don't think his record suggests. I don't think his skill level is correlated with his record. I think he's a scrapper and he likes to come out and he likes to fight. That makes him dangerous. He's willing to go out there and he's willing to fight. Um, but like I said, I'm taking that into consideration. I'm not thinking it's gonna be easy fight. No fight is easy. Nothing's guaranteed. So I'm just looking forward to going out there and performing. It is on a bigger stage. I'm gonna have more eyes looking at me. So I'm ready to get it.
Actually, I think that it is like your time because you won your three last fights against really good opponents, and I think that you should be considered as the one of the fighters to watch as the potential like candidate to go to the UFC even like next year.
I mean, well, I'm in no rush. I'm ready. Again, I'm ready to fight anyone, anywhere, at any time. I'm always in the gym. I'm ready to go. Being on this win streak is actually a perfect thing. You said it is my time. I was starting my win streak fighting George Alcala. That was a tough fucking fight, and I think for me that just elevated. It let me know that like okay, like this is where I'm at. This guy, I just beat one of the toughest prospects of the Pacific Northwest, and I'm gonna keep the momentum going. Next fight, I didn't get the finish with Alcala. But my next few fights, I was like, nah, I'm going for that finish. And sure enough, next two fights, I'm finishing with submissions. I am a finisher, so they're always looking for that.
Yes, actually, I believe that you accept like one win, you have like all finishes, and your
Yep.
opponent also got finishes. So I think that it can be like, I mean, it will be like guaranteed that it will not last for 15
Yep.
minutes.
I'm telling you, man, that's the type of fighter I am. I'm not going in there to point anyone. I'm not going out there to play it safe. I like finishing. I am a fighter. Um, so that's the plan, and I just have to keep my wits about me because I do get excited. I do have losses as well, but that's just I think that speaks to the growth of who I am as a fighter. I've really grown into you know this person who's aware. I'm a smart fighter. I have a good IQ, and I just have that will. I'm willing to go and take you to places that a lot of people may not want to go to.
And actually, also you had quite, I think, long amateur career because according to Topology, it was 12 fights with 8-4 record, some like
Yep.
King of the Cage belt, what
Yep.
also is like quite a big promotion. So actually, you are like really experienced fighter, not just your pro fights.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I mean, the uh, being under the tutelage of Josh Barnett, he always had us competing every other weekend. The reason why my amateur record is, it looks extensive. It was really a short amount of time. I like I said, I'm always ready. I'm always in the gym, and especially he would always tell us, if you're not hurt, go out and fight again next weekend. So that's exactly what I did. Course, I had the 8-4 record in MMA. I had 3-0 in kickboxing, I believe, amateur as well. So I mean, I was just banging these fights out. I wanted this experience, and I think it really translated well into my now pro career.
In this fight, you will be a favorite to win. And do you like this situation, or do you prefer to be underdog?
Um, Here's the thing. They call me the sleeper for a reason. I feel like a lot of people sleep on me. I've slept on myself, and I'm shit. I just like to sleep in general. So I'm always going in there as an underdog. I always have that chip on my shoulder. I know this person's gonna come out and try to. He's in his hometown. This is a hometown boy. So um, the betting odds, the favorites, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I'm the underdog. I have my own underdog story. I'm the sleeper. Like don't sleep on me.
And actually, when I checked your record, I saw that as the amateur, you fought at one and only, I believe, show Golden put on by a
Yes, yes,
Golden Boy
yes, yes.
promotion.
That was a real against a real tough opponent in Josh Wayne Kim. That was a tough experience. That was a tough lesson. There we go. That was a tough lesson to have. Um, yeah, just to be a part of the history of fucking De La Hoya, Golden Boy. It was pretty cool seeing him around there. Yeah, that was cool. Fighting at the Forum too. You know, I think that whether the lights are bright or whether I'm fighting fucking out in Oregon, like it doesn't matter to me. I think I've competed enough to know that I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
And for this fight, how many weeks do you have to prepare, like to be like fully prepared?
Well, as far I think again, I always say this. I'm always in the gym. I'm always ready to go. This time around, I had about a month and a half, but I mean, I wouldn't even say it's for me to prepare. It's just for me to, get into that mindset that I'm gonna go fight. I'm ready to go. I was ready to go 2 weeks ago. I'm ready to go this week. I'm ready to go right now. So, as far as preparation though, yeah, man, I'm prepared. I'm prepared.
And about your weight cut, because you said that you are like prepared as far as fighting, but as far as weight cutting, do you have like any maybe not issue, but is it like any kind of problem for you to quickly make a weight?
That's a good question. I have struggled before making the weight, but I've really dialed in on my diet. I've really dialed in, and now I'm not really worried about it. I feel pretty good. I'm hydrated. So when it comes to short notice opportunities, I will be ready moving forward because again, this is a point in my career where I could either this fight will make or break, where I'm going. So I think it's helped me immensely to finally dial in on the diet, keep my water going, keep my supplements and whatnot.
And I think that this kind of short notice opportunities are a very good way to get to the UFC because usually right now it's either like contender series or short notice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely short notice. It doesn't really bother me. Especially with that LA card coming up, LA, I grew up around here, so if anything pops off, shit, call the sleeper. He's ready. He's down the street too. So
And actually, this card is kind of crazy. It's like super packed, so it would be
oh
great to fight there.
yeah, yes, 100%. Like freaking grew up around here, man. Like the one thing, all my people are out here too. It'd be a good experience for me. It'd be good because this is where I want to be eventually at the end of the day.
And overall, how did you get to sport of MMA? Did you have any kind of background before, like starting the sport?
Yeah, I actually started wrestling in high school, and I just started there. I never thought I would be a fighter. Like later on, maybe my junior year, I started watching the UFC fights. They were having the flyweight tournament with Ian McCall, DJ, and Benavidez. So I'm seeing these little guys scrap with each other, and most of them, they're heavy grapplers. So I'm seeing these guys doing things I do. I'm like, holy shit, I could do that. And yeah, shortly after my wrestling career, I dove headfirst in MMA. I trained for 3 months, and then I had my first fight, and we kept it going from there. I think my first year fighting, I had about 7 fights. My first year, yeah, 7 fights. So
So
I dove in, man.
yes, 7. These are like a kind of crazy amount to have a 7 fights.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm not hurt, if I'm good, I'm gonna fight again. Like, and I think that's it's kind of similar in my pro career. Obviously, there's a little bit of leeway with suspensions and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, if I'm good to go, if I'm not physically hurt, I'm ready. I'll step in. It's not a big deal to me. I'm confident in my training. I'm confident in my preparation. I'm confident in myself. So yeah, bring it on.
And if you can tell me more about the gym that you are currently train, who do you have there as the sparring partners, and how did you get there?
Okay, so I started training under Josh Barnett, and we moved over to California Mixed Martial Arts in Gardena. So I have Josh Barnett, I have Chad George, two pioneers of the sport. I can't go wrong with that. I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna take that knowledge for granted. As far as sparring partners, let me tell you, like that gym is full of killers. We got Victor Henry. I've trained with Bruno Souza. I've trained with all these guys, Jonathan Powell. All the up and comers are at this gym or they're around, So, um, there's no shortage of having good partners. There's no shortage of any of that. As far as how I got there, after wrestling, me and a buddy, my buddy did Taekwondo and he was planning on fighting, and he brought me along one day. He's like, hey, like this my guy Victor Henry's fighting a wrestler. Come in and wrestle him. So fuck it. And that's all I had to do. I go in there. Of course, Victor beat my ass. I'm just trying to wrestle the guy. So I mean, and from there on, I never stopped. I never stopped. I never looked back. I never wanted to do anything else. And like I said, I dove head first.
And I think Victor is like probably great sparring partner because he's like
Oh
super high level. He's I
yeah,
believe ranked, and bantamweight is the best division for a few years I believe right now.
oh yeah,
So it's kind of crazy to have this kind of even like support.
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, he's the main guy. He's been there. He's always in my corner, and I look out for him. He looks out for me. Um, but yeah, man, that guy, he's he's a monster, man. Like and it speaks volumes because you are who you're around. Like
And do you have a name from the UFC, the fighter from the bantamweight division that you would like to face?
oh man, you know what? I mean, throw me in there with anybody. Fucking who's that guy? I don't know if he's still in the UFC, but one guy I always see around. He's local. Dan Argueta. I would love to fight Dan Argueta right off the bat if I get that short notice. But no, I don't discriminate. I do not discriminate. These hands are for everybody.
And is there any kind of style that you maybe don't like, or do you think that the style can present some problem for your style?
Um, I would, for me, it's probably going to be the jujitsu guy. I watched Crown Gracie last night, and I was like, man, that would piss me off, and I think that would mess up my game a little bit. I'd make a mistake because I'm so frustrated. So, but I mean, other than that, I feel like I'm pretty well rounded. So, unless you're gonna be just absolutely boring, I think the boring people they're gonna give me some trouble because that's gonna frustrate me. As far as any other style, I don't know, man. I think again, I'm pretty well rounded. I got power, and usually when I touch people, they try to take me down, so it works out.
And I think that in your career you probably faced every possible style, like
Oh
either like as the amateur or the pro.
yeah, oh yeah. I've faced so many kinds of people, and just competing so much. Like even competing in jujitsu, I did a jujitsu tournament. I think last month. I did a jiu-jitsu tournament last month, and I didn't run into anyone that really gave me problems. The only problems that I encountered were with me just putting myself in positions where I didn't have to be. So again, that just comes down to my awareness. Um, but yeah, man, I fought an Olympic wrestler. I fought, a badass striker in the amateur pro. I fought every kind of style you could imagine, I think. So, we'll see. We'll see. I got James coming up, so we'll see what kind of style he brings.
And do you sometimes think about what would happen in your life if MMA wouldn't like appear?
Uh,
What kind of like career would you pursue?
if I'm being totally honest with you, it probably wouldn't be a good one. Uh, I grew up. I grew up in a a little rougher part of you know. I just had a little rougher around the edges, if I would say. And a lot of the people that I grew up with are actually I wouldn't say they're on the best terms of their life. They could be doing better, but it's just the choices they made. Uh, they're a product of their environment. And I think, it's unfortunate to say, and I hate to say it. I'm glad I found this. And yeah, man, it's been a blessing on me, honestly.
And I think that MMA is like a cool sport because you can use your like wrestling experience, let's say, because if not MMA, probably you have to go in some different direction. And here there is a sport that you can use all of these tools.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. Everything, everything worked out in the way it needed to. And yeah, I'm never gonna look back. I have this fucking great life ahead of me. And whether no matter what happens, I'm going till the wheels fall off, man. Like that's it. Like I found a true passion in this, and I will not stop.
Do you consider becoming a coach after your career will be done?
Oh yeah, I would definitely be a coach. I've coached wrestling. Right now I coach at the gym I train at. I teach the MMA class, but yeah, no doubt, I would love to coach after my career. I think, yeah, but I mean, only time will tell. And I still gotta improve in many areas. I'm always gonna be a student. I'm always gonna be learning. So until my career is over, then I'm gonna put the coaching stuff on hold for now. But I am more than likely gonna be a coach at some point in time.
Okay, Johnny. So many thanks for the conversation. I think that in just few days you will add another win to your winning streak, and there is like a huge chance to that we can see you in the UFC next year.
Oh, 100%. There's definitely a chance. There's always a chance. And as long as I'm healthy, you're gonna see me. That's the thing. Like people, they're gonna know the sleeper.